Hey, what's going on? Very quick video today. I'm going to show you how to win this endgame here. I've won many games with it just by reaching this exact position. So the way we're going to win here is one of these pawns is going to become a pass pawn. So the first thing we need to do is get one of these pawns to become a pass pawn. So how do we do that? Well, the first move we're going to do is play this pawn to f5. Now, there's many ways that black can play here, but it doesn't matter what they do. They are absolutely busted. The best move is to simply take, and we're going to cover that at the end. But if they do nothing, if they just leave the pawns the way they are, thinking, okay, we're going to capture here, or maybe we're going to push and they will be able to take, well, that's exactly what we want. So let's say they move this king here to b6, then we're going to continue with playing pawn to f6. Notice that they have to take this pawn. They cannot leave this pawn here on f6. If they do, we're going to just take here on g7 and queen on the next move, winning the game. So they have to take, and we're just going to take the pawn back. But notice something. Now we have this beautiful break on the next move, and after they take, this pawn is going to run up the board and it's going to become a queen. So this looks something like this. Black just makes another move. Let's say here king to c5. We play pawn to g5. Only move is to take. Otherwise, we simply take ourselves and queen the pawn here on h8. So they will take, and there's nothing that black can do to prevent this pawn from queening. And of course, we're going to queen first, so we will win the game. For example, after h6, they go here g4, we go h7, g3, we get our queen, they go pawn to g2, and we simply go here, put the queen behind the pawn, we're going to capture on the next move, and this is just a very simple win. So let's go back to the original position after we play this move pawn to f5. So the best that black can do here to try to survive the game is to simply capture our pawn, and we're going to capture back. But notice something. We are the only ones that are going to be able to create a pass pawn. And this is going to allow us to win the game. So let's see what this looks like. So here, black is going to, just make some moves. Otherwise, they lose the game. They cannot keep this king all the way back here, because then we simply just push our pawn down the board. So this king is going to try to get close to the pawns here. Now e6 simply doesn't work. Then black would be the one actually winning the game. So we want to do the same thing. We want to keep the pawns the way they are, and we're going to bring our king closer into the position. The king continues to move towards the pawns, and we do the same thing. At some point, we're going to be so close to our pawns that now this king here is going to be able to support the advancement of the pawn. And that's exactly what we want. So here black is going to make another move, another waiting move. And here is where we strike. We go pawn to e6. Black can just sit around and wait. They could try moves like king to e8, king to e7. But at some point, they're going to be forced to play this move. So we're going to go ahead and just play it right now. And this is the idea. We're going to recapture with a pawn. And now we are the only ones with a pass pawn. This pawn is only 2 steps away from becoming a queen, winning the game. So black has to prevent that from happening. They're going to try to do that by getting behind the pawn. We're going to play king here to e5, and after the king goes back, we're going to go king to d6, and something very clever here. After the king moves and we give a check, the king is going to try to hide on e8, and a lot of players are going to be scared and afraid, and they're going to think that playing king to e6 is going to be a stalemate. But it's not a stalemate, because black still has a legal move. They can push this pawn either 1 step forward or 2 steps forward. And this is why we're going to win the game. No matter where this pawn goes, we're going to be able to take on g6 either right away or via en passant. So for example, a move like g5, we take en passant. The black king cannot move. Only move is to push the pawn. And after they do that, we're just going to deliver checkmate. So very nice way to win this. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, see you on the next one.